What's up guys, I'm Heavy Dark and today we're going to be reviewing Black for PlayStation 2. Check it out. So Black is a first-person shooter developed by Criterion Games and published by Electronic Arts. It was originally released on February 24, 2006 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. So here's a little synopsis for you. The player assumes the role of Jack Keller, a Black Ops agent interrogated about his previous mission involving a terrorist operation. Gameplay involves the player confronting enemies by using firearms and grenades. The game is notable for its heavily stylized, cinema-inspired action, as well as its sound quality and focus on destructive effects during gameplay. Now, that sounds like a freaking sweet game to me. This review is going to be covering visuals, gameplay, sound, recommendation, and pricing. So first we're going to start with the visuals. So the environment looks amazing. You're going through the streets, you're going on the plains and fields, you get to raid a farmhouse, you're going across bridges, you're getting taking out people left and right all over the place, and all of it looks phenomenal. I love it. It looks great. Okay? The guns have so much detail on them, and I'm not a gun guy, but I mean, I'm convinced. All the guns look hyper realistic for the times. I mean, obviously they're modeled after real guns and they all look phenomenal. Another thing when it comes to the visuals is the hit animations for the enemies and the death animations for the enemies. You actually feel like your shots are connecting every time you hit an enemy. Okay, you feel like your gun is actually recoiling every time you pull the trigger. The death animations are actually pretty spot on and differ depending on whether you hit them in the head, hit them from behind, shoot them with a shotgun, blow them up with a grenade or a rocket launcher. Every single death animation actually looks unique, and they're different enough to where you feel like you're not just copy and pasting all the death animations. Now granted, there are some that overlap, but they all look great. One unique thing about Black is that while you're reloading, there is a blur effect that goes on the screen. Your gun is the only thing that's in focus while you're reloading, and this is kind of a really cool mechanic because it incentivizes you to take cover and watch your surroundings while you're reloading. You're vulnerable while you're reloading. Granted, it's only a couple of seconds, so on the easier difficulties it can be not a big deal, but on the harder difficulties it can be a big deal. It will leave you open to take fire and get a game over. The other thing that I can definitely praise this game about is the visuals when it comes to the interrogations. You get these small little chunks of movie quality interrogations with really good voice acting. I mean, there's a lot of pictures being flashed around like a typical, Black Ops interrogation slash, movie overview of different missions. I mean, it has a very grainy filter over it, which kind of adds to the aesthetic of you watching something that's classified, something that you're not meant to watch. And the guy that's being interrogated, you can feel the fear in his voice when he realized how screwed he is and how he has to cooperate, otherwise he's done.
If I walk out that door, everything you did will be declassified. You will be convicted. You will be discharged. You will spend the rest of your life in prison. Very well, Sergeant. Have it your way. Wait.
What do you want me to do?
Tell me everything you know about Seventh Wave.
Next is controls. Now the controls are, they're okay, all right? So one thing that is very hard to get used to is the aiming. So just like in a lot of these older titles, there is no aiming down the sights, okay? You got your gun here, and then when you zoom in, your face goes way the heck up here. Also, it kind of feels like when you're aiming, your reticule tends to drift over your target. It feels like you're going through molasses while you're going left to right, and that can get very frustrating. I tried messing with the sensitivity, but it doesn't really help very much, and it really makes it hard to be accurate, and so you end up shooting from the hip and doing a lot of spray and pray. Just shoot as much as you can, hope that you hit the target. The length of the game on easy is short, okay? 8 levels, that's all you get. But that is why, me personally, I recommend putting it on hard, or I definitely recommend that you put it on hard just so that you do die. It does make the game a little bit more difficult, and you get the most out of it as far as trying to figure out a way to overcome the level. So one thing with the easy difficulty is that you get to stock up on med packs. So you'll have 3 that you have on you, and you can push down on the directional to heal yourself. When you get on hard, the med packs are dropped by enemies and they stay on the ground, and once you get them, they're done. So one of the things that can be very frustrating is that you get a checkpoint when you have almost no health and you're going to die in one shot, but every time you die, you go back to when you only had one shot till you're dead. And that sometimes could mean that you need to either cheese the level by going very, very slow and killing the enemies one at a time and coming back to a safe zone, or it means that you need to restart the level because it's just dang near impossible to get past it without dying. The other thing that people really criticized this game about was it didn't have a multiplayer. So there was no way to play with your friends, there was no online, there was nothing, no split screen, anything. And that is a real bummer because this game looks so good and it would be so much fun to play with one of your friends. I mean, it's a shame. It really is. So next we're going to talk about sound, and this is one of the game's absolute strong points. Actually, I have some interesting facts about how the sounds were implemented in the game. According to Wikipedia, emphasizing the game's action film heritage, sound effects for the weapons in the game were based on various sounds from films. For example, Bruce Willis's Heckler and Koch MP5 in Die Hard was used, Jack Bauer's pistol from the show 24, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's Uzi from the movie True Lies. Those sound effects from those movies were used in the game to give them a more realistic sound. The music from Black was composed by Chris Tilton, using the theme co-authored by Oscar-winning composer Michael Giacchino. It was recorded at the Newman scoring stage. I don't know where that is. Sounds fancy. Sounds amazing. Okay, so they used some heavy hitters when it comes to this game. This soundtrack just slaps, and it really brings you in to the environment, to the action. You feel like you're playing a movie. This looks and sounds so good. gun sounds, the explosions, the reloading, all of it sounds and looks amazing. Okay, one of the other things that I really enjoyed was the voice acting. So it looks like Jack Keller was played by Marty Papazian. Marty Papazian. And the unknown interrogator was played by Paul Pape. And they sound great. All in all, these guys gave a great performance and really ties you in to the storyline. They give a lot of explanations. Unfortunately for me, a lot of it is super cryptic and Black Ops special, and I had a hard time following it. All I know is you didn't do what you were supposed to. Bad things happened. You got caught, and now you got to declassify everything to this guy and admit everything you did wrong. Otherwise, you're screwed. So, yeah. So next is pricing and recommendation. So the price that I found this game was around $8 for just the disc. Now, that's all you need to play. You just need the disc. But if you're like me, you have that OCD that makes you have to have the box and the manual. So complete in box, I'm finding it for around 15 to 20. You can pretty regularly find it for 15. At 8 levels and $15, that's $2 a level. Now, you can easily get 20 to 30 hours of entertainment. I'll say that. Okay, you play it on a harder difficulty. Yes, you die a lot. Yes, you have to actually plan out what you're going to do, find out where the secret weapons that are actually really good that can get you through those levels, find out where the ammo is, what enemies drop med packs, when you're going to be able to get, those checkpoints actually happen. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it that actually will take a while so that you can get more enjoyment out of it and it's not such a short game. $8, you go ahead and you can beat it in probably 2 or 3 hours. Honestly, on easy difficulty, it's pretty easy, especially when you're saving up those med packs and you can just heal whenever you want. But I'm just recommending that you at least play it on the regular or hard difficulty so that you can really stretch those hours and get your money's worth. It is very satisfying. It is very difficult. Personally, on the very last level, I had to look up a guide on how somebody else did it because I was just dying over and over. It was getting so frustrating. And you definitely run into those old game issues with enemies being way too accurate, being able to do way too much damage, swarms of enemies spawning out of nowhere. It was very frustrating, but it was fun. I will say that I had fun, and it sounded and looked awesome. That's what I think about it, and I definitely recommend that you at least give it a shot for the price. So that's going to be my review on Black for PlayStation 2. If you've played it, let me know what you thought. I thought it was amazing. I super recommend it. I think that everybody should try it. It is definitely a super sweet game. So if you guys have any recommendations for games that you want me to try out, want me to review, want me to go over, anything, just let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. I really appreciate it. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. Whatever you can do to help out, I appreciate all of it. I'm Heavy Dark. This has been my review on Black, and I'm out.